organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Tonight on Daily Iowan TV, Safe Space. The University of Iowa is setting aside a prayer spot for Muslim students.
Later, a no-go. Iowa City City Council nixes new art downtown.
It wasn't just basketball on the court in Carver Hawkeye Arena on Wednesday evening.
Find out which team made a guest appearance later in sports.
All that and more coming up.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Cole Johnson.
And I'm Maria Palladino.
The University of Iowa answered the call to prayer Thursday. A few months ago, Daily Iowan TV reported that a group of Muslim students on campus were asking for a space to pray. The university just dedicated 2 rooms in the Iowa Memorial Union to just this cause. The 2 rooms are open primarily to Muslim students, staff, and faculty across campus. The original request for space came after tensions many Muslim students faced when looking for discrete places for their 5 daily prayers at dawn, noon, afternoon, sunset, and night. UI Vice President for Student Life Tom Rockland said the rooms are not limited to the Muslim students.
The UI requires students who live on campus to have a dining plan. For some students, flexibility within the meal plan and the variety of options it brings is great. Sydney Zatz has the story.
If you live on campus, the university requires that you get a dining plan. For some students, they love it due to the convenience. For some, they don't have time to sit in a dining hall, so they love the flex meal option. I talked with some students to figure out why the mandated dining plan isn't also bad.
I can eat as much as I want without having to be restricted by a certain amount of swipes. And so I can just head over to Burge or Hillcrest or wherever to get food and not be limited to a certain amount of swipes.
Last semester I did not use all my meal swipes, even though toward the end I tried to. I found that I had plenty.
I get flex meals because they're quick and there are quite a few options.
I like Burge. It's a great place. Food's always different. It's a good place to be.
It's just nice if you have like half an hour between classes. It's a quick meal.
I think it makes sense for them to want us to eat, find time to eat between our studies.
If you live on campus, you're required to get a dining plan. The reason being there are only so many things you can make in your dorm when you can't use things such as toasters or stoves due to the open heat hazard. I talked with Jill Irvin, director of dining here at Burge. She told me that the university wants to make sure students get the nutrition they need. If you don't want to sit in a crowded dining hall or if you're in a time crunch, there are always flex meals. Reporting from Burge, Sydney Zatz, Daily Iowan TV.
A portion of Iowa City's downtown will remain artless. The Iowa City City Council failed to agree on a $50,000 expense needed to fund the $500,000 lens sculpture. The funding would be used to hire a consultant to raise money for this design, which some residents have called a giant egg slicer or spare tire. The design was unveiled last October by a British artist.
Johnson County leaders have a new initiative in place. This new plan includes more intensive training for officers and deputies specific to handling situations involving mental illness. The new training program gives officers the means to safely resolve conflicts that could otherwise result in jail time. Officials also plan to establish a new facility called a restoration center, geared for those with mental illness or substance abuse issues. The proposed plan could reduce the number of people held in prison by instead sending them to this facility to receive much needed treatment. Some hope the plan will save taxpayers money by cutting down the number of arrests. Wednesday, Iowa City Police received a $13,000 grant from the U.S. Department of Justice. The grant will support the officer training specifically in response to wandering residents who deal with mental disabilities. The police estimate they deal with 5 cases of wandering residents a year.
Though it's not exactly monopoly money, Iowa City police officials are warning residents about a local flare-up in counterfeit bills. Officers have recovered $1,500 worth of fake money. A few weeks ago, Cedar Rapids police said they recovered over 3,000 fake dollars. Retailers have counterfeit detecting pens for bills, which are often $100 bills. A streak of the pen that turns brown signals a real bill, while a black line screams fake. The bills also have watermarks and color strips that officials say are hard to replicate. Nationally, the Secret Service is in charge of stamping out counterfeiters and collected over 80 million false dollars in 2013.
Well, Cole, the weather really wasn't that bad today, but I heard it's about to get a little bit colder.
I agree. I have heard that as well, but only one way to find out is tossed over to the weather studio. Zhao, what's it looking like?
Thanks, guys. Unfortunately, the cold weather will continue, and we're expected to see more snow this upcoming Monday. Tomorrow morning will kick off with temperatures staying in the low 20 range with a cloudy sky. As we head into the afternoon, temperatures will rise slowly to 30 degrees. In the late evening, the temps will stay in the high 20s. Take a look at our 6 days extended forecast. Saturday will have a clear sky with a high of 39 and a low of 30. Sunday will keep those warm temperatures with a high of 41 degrees. Monday will be the start of another chill with a low of 8 degrees. It looks like Tuesday and Wednesday will drop down into single digits with partly cloudy skies. That's all I have for you here at the weather studio. Back to you guys at the desk.
Republican Rick Santorum ended his 2016 presidential campaign on Wednesday. The former Pennsylvania senator entered the race in May and has been embracing his underdog status in the crowded Republican field. He is now endorsing Marco Rubio for the Republican presidential nomination. Santorum said he and Rubio share similar values, and Rubio is in a better position to do well in this race. He described Rubio as a, quote, born leader and someone that can bring this country together.
World leaders pledged a total of $10 billion on Thursday to help millions of Syrian refugees. The British Prime Minister, David Cameron, said the money will save lives, give hope, and give people that chance of a future. According to Cameron, participants had pledged around $6 billion for 2015 and another $5 billion by 2020. However, the president of the International Committee of the Red Cross said this kind of humanitarian aid will only solve the problem in the short run.
On Thursday, an Israeli court sentenced 2 Israeli minors, one for 21 years and another to life in prison, in the 2014 death of a 16-year-old Palestinian boy. The attack came in retaliation for the abduction and murder of 3 Israeli students by members of the militant group Hamas. Hamas used Mohammed Abdul Qadir's death as justification to bombard Israeli cities with rocket barrages from the Gaza Strip in a 50-day period of intense conflict. The families of the boys say they plan to appeal the lesser of these sentences to the Israeli Supreme Court.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell made a sweeping decree. At the first NFL Women's Summit Thursday, Goodell said he will require teams to interview women for front office jobs around the league. It will be similar to the Rooney Rule, which forces teams to interview black candidates for head coaching positions. Right now, the Miami Dolphins are the only team with a woman serving in a front office position.
Well, moving from football over to basketball, how about those Hawkeyes last night?
Yeah, I actually got to catch the game, and it was nice to see another win. For more on Hawkeye athletics, let's toss over to the sports studio. Ladies?
Thanks, Cole and Maria. It's definitely an exciting thing to see women really taking a larger role in the sports world, and we're interested to see where that goes in the NFL. As for Hawkeye sports, the men's basketball game Wednesday evening provided some interesting entertainment for Iowa fans.
The black and gold took down the Penn State Nittany Lions in a midweek conference showdown right here in Iowa City. But Taylor, it really was not much of a game inside Carver Hawkeye Arena.
It definitely wasn't. Iowa took control over Penn State early in the matchup and held on to the lead, coming out with a hefty win for the Hawkeyes, thanks in large part to 2 point guards. I tell you more.
Having 2 floor generals on a basketball court could lead to bad news. But for the Iowa men's basketball team, it's like having a 2-headed monster. When it's not Anthony Clemens, it's Mike Gesell. When Gesell isn't producing points, he's the floor general. And that's what happened against Penn State. Clemens took care of the points while Gesell took care of the ball.
It's kind of like a 2-headed monster in a way. I think just how they are able to control the game and control the tempo, they do a really masterful job of that.
Both of them running the show, and both of them can handle the ball, break the press. Both of them can break their man down, make plays for their teammates is huge.
It's safe to say these two have the unselfishness that any good basketball team would want.
You know, they're not selfish point guards. They'll look to load guys up and get our shooters shots, and I think they just do a fantastic job of controlling the game.
But Clemens decided to score a little on his own, and some of that came from revenge.
I just wanted to set the tone early. I talked to my coach earlier today, and I just remember the time where they beat us in the Big Ten tournament.
Revenge was sweet to the senior who dished out 12 points and 6 rebounds.
I felt really good. I didn't know I had 6 rebounds at halftime, but if I don't know now, I probably try to go for 10.
A double-double or not, Clemens is making his last go-around as a Hawk one to remember.
I'm just attacking, as this being my last year, I'm just, leaving it all on the floor, and my coaching staff has a lot of trust in me. They believe that I can make the right play, and I can make the right play for others.
The starting 5 seems to be proving their point, and so does another unit on this team. Katie, there's no bench warmers on this team. Am I right?
That's right, Taylor. Every single Hawkeye hit the hardwood in Carver on Wednesday night as the team took down Penn State.
You've got to be able to go to your bench. You've got to be able to rest your guys. You've got to get productivity off the bench. We're getting points, rebounds, assists, and not a lot of mistakes.
This shows how we're good at playing together, and we can put a lot of lineups out there that can play together. Our bench will be doing a tremendous job this year, and we're just looking to compete and keep playing well.
A strong bench is key for Iowa as they move through their schedule. With all 14 players getting experience, this team feels confident about the deep game they bring to the court.
1 through 14 that come in and contribute, that's huge for our team.
All those younger guys in there, especially myself as well, and just trying to get some experience.
Yeah, that experience, nothing replaces experience, and those guys getting experience on the floor, especially this game against a good Penn State team, is going to be helpful for us down the road.
With Ewell, Wagner, and Bayer all putting in double-digit court time, this team has the talent to pull out all the stops. For Taylor Brooks, I'm Katie Reber, inside Carver Hawkeye Arena, Daily Iowan TV Sports. The strength of this dynamic team is definitely shown in Iowa's 9-1 Big Ten record so far this season. Next up, the Hawkeyes will head to Illinois to take on the 11-12 Fighting Illini on Sunday, February 7th.
The game itself may not have been the closest or most exciting of the season, but there was plenty to keep the crowd entertained, especially halftime.
That's right. In typical fashion, the dance team took to the court with grace and poise, but there were some special guest performers that joined them. A group of Iowa football players accompanied the dance team's halftime performance in front of packed Carver Hawkeye Arena. And while they may have been slightly less graceful, they were definitely equally as entertaining.
That is definitely true, but that wasn't all we saw of the football team at halftime. The rest of the team was invited to the court as they were recognized and honored for their 2015 season success. Amongst the fanfare, the Big Ten West champs proudly escorted the hardware they acquired over their perfect regular season.
Needless to say, those guys should probably stick to football.
Probably. I saw a couple dabs happening out there. LaShawn, they were all dabbing. It was awesome, but that'll be it for me and Katie on this sports night. Me and Katie will actually be at the basketball game against Illinois on Sunday, so stick around for that on Monday. Back to you guys at the desk.
We'll leave you tonight in anticipation of one of the most exciting events of the UI calendar. Thousands of Hawkeyes are preparing to put on their dancing shoes and colored shirts as we speak.
All the money raised during Dance Marathon and throughout the year goes to University of Iowa's Children's Hospital. This is the 22nd year of 24 straight hours of dancing, and every year, the total amount raised has grown.
Organizers are hoping to raise $2.4 million this year. Daily Iowan TV will be there for the entire 24 hours, bringing you a peek into the event every hour. Be sure to keep checking dailyiowan.com.
Then tune in Sunday night for an extensive recap on the weekend event. And that's all we have for you tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
Be sure to check out our website, dailyiowan.com, for all the latest news between now and Sunday. For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Maria Palladino.
And I'm Cole Johnson. Have a good night.
Can't pick up a copy of the Daily Iowan? Are you worried about how you're going to find out about the latest news in Iowa City and the University of Iowa? Well, look no further. You can download the Daily Iowan mobile app on your iPhone for the area's best news coverage. And you can also read and watch us on your iPad. You can always find current and past Daily Iowan stories at dailyiowan.com. The Daily Iowan is now on TV, online, and in your pocket. If it happens, it's news to us.